Yes. Okay. Thank you for the link.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Right. Greetings, everyone. Now, welcome to the second day of the Cultural Exchange, which will be Atlia's showcase, where we will present our nation, some of our culture, and of course, our plans for recent future. Now, oh, yeah, let me add this. I'll need to do this. Guess it's this one. Yes, there it is. Okay, here's a showcase for the Empire of Atlia.
Okay. Yes. I'm curious to learn more about Atlia.
Okay, first, the empire, it's composed by three sovereign states under the imperial throne of Atlia. The empire was founded on September 7th of September 2021, although the founder state, the Kingdom of Atlia, was established on 25 July 2017. The other members of the Empire of Atlia are the Kingdom of the Southern Star and the Grand Duchy of Maraya. The Kingdom of Atlia has had a history, 5 years of history before the creation of the empire. For example, well, those are some holidays, but the Empire of Atlia, sorry, the Kingdom of Atlia was, it still is, it's still a member state, a micronation mainly located in Mexico, in the northern of Mexico, and we obviously inherited a lot of its culture, of the northern culture, although I will explain a bit later the culture of the Kingdom of Atlia, which translates a lot to the empire. Some of our holidays, we have the New Year's Day, obviously. We observe the Holy Week, although it's not an official celebration. I did this presentation from other one I had in the past. Obviously, the Prince Regent's birthday, which is on the 4th of April. On April as well, we have, I didn't add it here, but we also celebrate the Mother Earth's International Day. Also, we observe Labor's Day, and on July we have the whole month of July for this is the national month, and on the 25th, it's the foundation of the Kingdom of Atlia. And on the 29th, actually, we celebrate a cultural day we call it Miss Viria Cultural Day in honor of one of our old friends of the community. 10th of September, we have Empire Day, as well as the day before is the birthday of His Imperial Royal Highness, Royal Majesty the King. Then in November, we have the Day of the Dead, which is a very important celebration in Mexico, mostly by the south, but we also like to celebrate here in Atlia. It's a day where we made a shrine and honor our deceased loved ones. And by early December, we have this Christmas party, sort of. It's a very, I don't know if Latin American, but at least Mexican in nature. Where you have parties before the big one, which is Christmas.
Yeah.
For culture, well, it's mainly northern Mexico, although other parts of the empire have a different style of cultures. For example, we have the Grand Duchy of Maraya. It's in the northeast coast of the United States. So they have mainly culture. They are near Canada, mainly Maine, I think. So they have this sort of near coastal culture. And by the Kingdom of the Southern Star, they are off the coast of Australia. but it's mainly administered by the imperial throne, so they don't have like a very strong culture. They haven't developed that much yet, but they mainly have uh, Mexican culture as it's we are influencing them. Our national dish it's flautas, which are called burritos anywhere else but Atlia. Uh, Most Atlian citizens, this is I think I noticed recently, most Atlian citizens like strategy games like Risk, Civilization, and Hearts of Iron. These last two are video games.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as I explained before, we were very influenced by the region we were established, which is the northern of Mexico. But also, we have developed our own unique culture thanks to years of cooperation and contact with some very close friends as the North Sea Empire and the Crown Republic of Sipsopina, which also they have a long history of international development.
Mm.
And now for the plans for recent future, we of course have an environmental summit with Duckionary next month. That's on the plans. We also want to develop further the education sector within Atlia. Recently, we established the Imperial University of Atlia, and within it, we plan to have several courses, simple courses, for the likes of traditional dishes within Atlia. We also plan to have the history course for Atlia as well, and there was another one. Under it, it's the Royal Atlian Institute of Languages, so we also want to develop at least a simple course of French, because in our long-term plans, we plan to have a majority of French-speaking people in Atlia for us to adopt another language within the nation. And of course, we want to implement our ecological plans for the empire better. Right now we have this project which is called Atlia Sustentable or Sustentable Atlia, which involves essentially the separation of trash between normal trash and recyclables, which we have just implemented it recently. Well, not recently, it has almost a year since it was implemented, and we have seen great success in the capital areas, mainly the two capital cities, but we plan for it to expand to the whole of the Kingdom of Atlia and even the other member states of the empire.
It's very nice. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
We'll talk about that in February about environment. I've also some plans for Duckionary areas.
Indeed. So, do you have any questions about our culture? Do you wanted for me to answer something that maybe was not answered within the showcase?
I have to. Not yet. Maybe I have in the following days some questions that will occur. Yes, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah.
And maybe I forgot to mention as well that, regarding our next activity, the activity after Duckionary's showcase, which is the culinary exchange, Atlia is also traditionally a place where a lot of meat is consumed. So we don't have especially some vegetarian options, but there are several dishes that don't involve meat. So there are some actually really good recipes that maybe not doesn't come from the whole people of Atlia, but within the royal family they are very popular. So we are planning to share those recipes with you soon.
Okay, yes, yeah. We'll also share with you the recipes. Yes.
And may I forget something? Well, of course, we are also really involved within ecological matters, and there was another thing. I think we have the ecological, we have the political. Well, also traditionally, the culture of Atlia has been not as involved in politics, so we are not a very political nation. That results also in a lot of power for the imperial throne. But beyond that, the people of Atlia are peaceful people, and they like to have fun.
It's a good way, yes. I liked it. Just to have fun, listen. A good way to do micronationalism.
Indeed. Oh, also, by the way, our two most popular celebrations, which are the Posada and the Day of the Dead. Uh, do you have any? Do you want me to explain some of those, or I think I explained them as sufficient? The explanation within the presentation was enough.
Maybe that, and with the death, I think I've seen a television report on that, but could you tell me something more about this Day of the Death?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's celebrated on the 2nd of November, and in that day we do a shrine where we put photos of our deceased loved ones. We put their favorite food. We put bread of the dead, which is I don't have the image, sorry, but it's a sweet bread sprinkled with sugar, and it tastes more or less like orange. It also depends on the region, but at least here in the north, most of this bread of the dead tastes like a slight orange flavor. And of course, you have other elements that are very traditional, like paper, cut paper of colors with shapes and several things. They have the meaning of like souls of like the wind and the souls that come back. You light candles. You have a glass of water for the souls that travel to drink water. Also, the flowers and cempasúchil is a really important aspect of this because I don't remember marigold. Marigold in English is called marigold. The Mexican marigold also is really a really important symbol within this because they only grow in this time of the year, so they also think the deceased loved ones have an influence on that. So you make a path with that flower, so they follow that path to the shrine.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes, and lastly, well, usually you put like religious figures because as this is like a Catholic tradition, it usually has like a crucifix and thing, a cross made with salt or a sort of a dust. But yes, and that's essentially it. People gather in families or with friends. Well, friends, everybody brings like a photo of the deceased loved one, but it's mostly within families. For gather, remember the people, and eat the food at the end.
Yeah. In Austria, on the 1st of November, we go to the cemetery and think of our loved ones. That's also tradition in Austria.
That's very very similar. Also, actually, in the south of Mexico, they do this. They do this shrine, but in the tomb of the loved one. It's a bit different here in the north, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice for me to have explained these aspects of our culture, and of course, if you have any questions or anyone in the audience have questions, I would like to answer them via Twitter or maybe in the comments on the YouTube video. And our next activity in this week would be the dictionary presentation, so we hope to see you there. And
Yeah, see you on Monday.
See you on Monday. And thank you very much for accompanying us, Your Highness.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and see you on Monday.